Hi, listen viewers. Today we are going to discuss in our 10th class chemistry chapter acids, bases and salts. Okay, acids, bases, about acids, bases, introduction and some common properties about the properties of acids and bases we have in our previous classes in 7th class already we know, even though we have to discuss. So here what do you mean by the acid? Okay, acids means, acid is a word, it is derived from a Latin word. Acid, it is derived from the Latin word acidus. What is that Latin word? Acidus. What does it mean? Acidus means sour to taste. Acidus means sour, means the substances. Generally we can call the substances whose sour to taste. Such substances we can call with the name acid. Okay, acids means what we can decide the property of acids. Acids are sour to taste. And also we can tell the property of acid by using the litmus papers. We'll get two kinds of litmus papers. Okay, red litmus paper and blue litmus paper. Okay, two types of litmus papers, red litmus and blue litmus papers. So these litmus papers are also used to identify the nature of the substance, whether it is acidic in property or basic in property. So how do we know if the substance is sour to taste? If it turns blue litmus into red, if it turns the blue litmus paper into red litmus, so then it indicates the substance is in acidic in nature. Okay, the substance sour to taste and it turns blue litmus to red litmus, then the substance we defined as acid or acidic substance. Acids are sour to taste. A follows B. We need to remember acid means which litmus paper? Two litmus papers we have. We need to get confused. So easy to remember. Acid starts with A. Which litmus paper it turns? Blue litmus paper. Acid means it turns blue litmus into red. Okay, then the nature of the substance we can call as it is acidic in nature. And one more, base. How do we identify the substance whether it is basic in nature? Bases are generally soapy to touch. Soapy to touch means it is slippery to touch. Soapy to touch and bitter in taste. The taste will be bitter. How do we define the bases? Means they are soapy to touch. Acidus means here sour to taste, and here soapy to touch. One of the property we can identify the given substance is basic or not. Soapy to touch and in taste they will be bitter in taste. Okay, with general property, this is the substance. If it is in basic, it has the property soapy to touch, means it is slippery to touch. If we touch, it will be slip from our hands. So that is slippery to touch and also bitter in taste. And with litmus paper, if we can dip the blue litmus into the basic solution, it remains in blue color. It does not change the blue color litmus paper into red. Okay, if the substance is in basic in nature, if we dip the red litmus paper, it turns its color into blue litmus. So this indication we comes to know the substance is in the substance has the nature in basic. Okay, means how do we define the bases? Bases are soapy to touch, means slippery to touch and bitter in taste. They turns red litmus into blue litmus. So they are defined as bases. Okay. So here in our daily life, if the person suffering with acidity, if the person suffer with acidity, we can prefer some antacid tablets. Antacid tablets means it contains antacid, means opposite to the acidic property, means it should have some basicity. Okay, what does it contain? That antacid tablet contain what type of substance and what reaction takes place in our stomach. Okay, if the person is suffering with acidity, okay, we can prefer to take the mild basic substance. So then what type of reaction takes place in stomach when the person is suffering with acidity? Means neutralization reaction. Neutralization reaction. So then the person feels pain free, he can feel, and he'll get relief from the acidity. Means what type of reaction takes place in our stomach? If in stomach, when the person is suffering with acidity, if he will consume antacid tablet. Basic means what kind of tablet here? Antacid tablet or a powder. For example, in daily life, in our ads also we can observe here Eno. Okay, so this contains what? Basic, mild basic. So this will neutralize the acidity released in our stomach. So what kind of reaction takes place in our stomach here? In stomach, neutralization reaction takes place. Okay, so like this way, there are many natural substances, natural indicators we have to identify the nature of the substance, whether it is acidic or basic. Okay, there are litmus solutions. Okay, many natural substances. So here litmus solutions, and also extract of red cabbage, and turmeric powder we have in our houses. Okay, turmeric powder is also used as a natural indicator. Litmus solutions and extract of red cabbage like a juice, turmeric powder, and also petals of some flowers. Petals of some flowers also contains dye molecules. Dye means color molecules, dye molecules they contain. Petals of some kind of flowers, they contain dye molecules. So these many natural indicators like hibiscus, petals of hibiscus flower, mango leaf, or olive oil, like this many kinds of natural indicators we have, like litmus solutions, extract of red cabbage, turmeric powder, petals of some flowers contains dye molecules which contain acid base, which we can use as acid base indicators. We can use it as acid base indicators. Indicators means what here? They indicate, if we can use these natural indicators, they indicate the nature of the substance, whether it is acidic in nature or basic in nature. So these natural indicators we have to use to test the nature of the substance, its acidity or basicity. So along with these natural indicators, there are some synthetic indicators also we have. Okay, synthetic indicators means the indicators which we prepared in the laboratory. So these all natural indicators will be available in our nature around us. Okay, natural indicators. The indicators which are available in nature, they are called natural indicators. We have available many indicators. Here litmus, what do you mean by the litmus actually? Litmus means it is a dye extracted from a lichen. Lichen means it is a plant. Okay, lichen means is the name of the plant. Litmus means it is a dye molecule. Dye means like a color. What do you mean by the dye? Color pigment. Okay, the litmus means it is a dye. It is extracted from lichen. So lichen means it is a plant. The plant belonging to the division of Thallophyta. We have the plants, flowering plants, non-flowering plants, and in flowering plants, non-flowering plants, again the classification we have Thallophyta, Pteridophyta, Bryophyta. So like this classification of plants in flowering plants and non-flowering plants. So in some of in that Thallophyta, in Thallophyta category, the lichen plant belongs. From the lichen plant we can collect the dye. That dye contains the litmus paper and litmus solution I am saying here. So the litmus is a dye which is extracted from a lichen. Lichen means it is a plant which belongs to the division of Thallophyta. And here this is used as a indicator, acid base indicator. Litmus is also used to identify the, what do you mean by the acid base indicator? Means it is used to indicate the nature of the substance, whether it is acidic in nature or basic in nature. Okay, acid base indicator. And this litmus, like we have two litmus papers, and in neutral means it does not show acidity and basicity. So that kind of substance we can say neutral. Okay, like distilled water, neutral. It does not contain any acidity and any basicity. Okay, neutral means it has equal in portion, like acid and base. They both neutralize with each other, and the substance becomes in nature neutral. So this litmus in neutral solution, it shows the color purple. In neutral solution means the substance, whether it is acidica, basica or neutrala, we want to identify, we have to use this litmus solution. So the litmus solution in neutral solution, the litmus which shows the color, which color? Purple color. Means if the substance, when we use the litmus solution to identify the nature. If the substance shows purple color with litmus, means the nature of the substance is what here? Neutral. The nature of the substance is neutral, not acidic, neither acidic nor basic. It is neutral. It shows with the litmus purple color. Okay, then we can confirm that is a neutral substance. So like this, natural indicators, we have many natural indicators in our nature around us. Okay, and along with these there are some synthetic indicators also we have, I told here. Synthetic indicators means these indicate the nature of the substance. Synthetic indicators, we have phenolphthalein, methyl orange, phenolphthalein and methyl orange. These two synthetic indicators we have. These two indicators also used to test the nature of the substance, its acidity or basicity. But these two are which kind of indicators here? Synthetic indicators, phenolphthalein indicator and methyl orange indicator. Here we need to learn about these synthetic indicators, and also many activities takes place around us in the presence of acids, bases with metals. So many activities we can learn in our chapter acids, bases and salts. So what are the topics we are going to learn in this chapter once we look at? Okay, before going to that, what do you mean by acid? Acid is a word. It is derived from the Latin word. What is that Latin word? Acidus. What do you mean by the acidus here? Sour. Acidus means sour. Generally we can call any substance sour in taste. Okay, that substance we defined as acid. And acids means, how do we define? Acid means the substance sour to taste and it turns blue litmus to red. Acid A start with and it follows the B, means blue litmus we need to remember. Acids turns which litmus into which litmus? Blue litmus to red litmus. Okay, acids are sour to taste and it turns blue litmus into red, or defined as acids. Bases. Bases are slippery to touch, are soapy to touch and bitter in taste. They turns red litmus into blue litmus, defined as bases. Many kinds of natural indicators like litmus solution, extract of red cabbage juice, turmeric powder, petals of some kinds of flowers, also used as acid base indicators. They contain di molecules in them, so that's why we have to use them to as acid base indicators. Along with the natural indicators, we also have synthetic indicators, phenolphthalein and methyl orange. Okay, so phenolphthalein with acids, it becomes colorless. Phenolphthalein, if we use the phenolphthalein indicator to identify the nature of the substance, whether it is acidic in nature or basic in nature, if the substance acidic in nature, the phenolphthalein will show colorless. With bases, the phenolphthalein red or pink. It turns the solution color into red or pink when we use the phenolphthalein indicator to identify the nature of the substance. Then we can confirm that substance is basic in nature. With acids, the phenolphthalein indicator remains colorless. But if in the presence of basic solution, the phenolphthalein indicator turns the solution into red or pink color. So then we can confirm that the given substance is basic in nature. The one more synthetic indicator, that is methyl orange. Methyl orange with acids, in the presence of acidic solution, if we use the methyl orange, the indicator is in orange color, methyl orange. Okay, phenolphthalein actually it remains colorless. Methyl orange, when in the presence of acidic solution, it turns the solution into red color. Okay, in the presence of basic solution, the methyl orange turns the solution into yellow. Okay, so these are the presence of colors. Colors we have to identify the nature of the substances, acidic or basic, by using these synthetic indicators. Okay, if in our lesson we have many activities, so what are the activities we have to learn in our chapter? Look at here. The chemical properties of acids and bases. Chemical properties of acids and bases, reaction of acids and bases with metals, and reaction of carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates with acids, And neutralization reaction means acid neutralized with the base or base neutralized with the acid. In neutralization reaction we will observe they both neutralize with each other and form salt plus water. Neutralization reaction also we have to see. And reaction of metal oxides with acids, reaction of non-metal oxides with bases, and also what does the common element contain in acids and bases, means common element in acids and bases. Dilution of acids and bases. In many chemistry activities, in laboratory activities, we should not use strong acids. Okay, we need to dilute them, means by adding water we can decrease the strength of the acid. So that process we can say to as a dilution. So that how do we dilute the given acid or base, that also we can learn in this lesson. Dilution of acids and bases, and also how do we identify if the given acids, in the given acids which acid is strong and which acid is weak. So that is strength of acids or bases. Bases also we can identify which is the strong base and which is the weak base. So and next pH scale. pH scale means it is a scale. Okay, the scale, on the scale how do we have numbers, numerical numbers like a small scale 1 to 15, large scale 1 to 30. In the same way on pH scale also we have 0 to 14 numbers. On pH scale, according to the number we can identify the nature of the substance, whether it is a weak acid or strong acid, or weak base or strong base. According to the number on the pH scale, the solution shows the number on the pH scale, we can identify. So that pH scale, who's introduced pH scale, how do we identify, and what colors does it shows on pH scale, that we can learn. And also importance of pH in everyday life. What is the importance of these pH value? Okay, rainwater, and also in our mouth the pH value of acids, how much it should have, and also pH of the soil, and pH of the acid, pH value of the acid in our stomach. So these pH value is also their importance in our daily life. So how does it affect the pH, importance of pH value in our everyday life also we have to learn. Chemicals from common salt. Common salt we have to use to enhance the taste of our food. Okay, like salt, common salt, sodium chloride. This only sodium chloride we can use to extract many number of chemicals, means that's why chemicals from common salt. Okay, brine solution we can say, if the common salt dissolve in water, that solution we can say to as brine solution. That brine solution we can use to extract many chemicals from the common salt. And also how do we extract bleaching powder? By using the common salt. Bleaching powder, CaOCl2 is the bleaching powder chemical formula. And also baking soda, its uses, bleaching powder uses also we can learn. Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. Okay, washing soda, like in our houses to clean our clothes we can use surf. Okay, that is washing soda, Na2CO3. And removing water of crystallization. Some of the salts, if they contain water molecules in it, they contain some kind of color. If the water evaporates from the salt, it changes their colors. So that how do we remove the water molecules contained in the salt? So that in the form of crystals, if it has, it contain water molecules in it. So that process of removing the water molecules from the salts, from the crystals, we can call here removing water of crystallization. And also one more chemical, plaster of Paris, CaSO4, half H2O, gypsum and plaster of Paris. How do we get water molecules, removing water of crystallization, and also the uses of plaster of Paris. So these are the topics we have in our acids, bases and salts. Okay, so now we have to know about acid. What do you mean by acid, and what does it contain, the colors with litmus and with synthetic indicators also. And bases, how do we define the base, and which litmus it changes the color, and with synthetic indicators also we learn the colors. So now we have to go and learn about chemical properties of acids and bases. Our first topic in the acids, bases and salts. Chemical properties of acids and bases. Chemical properties of acids and bases. To identify the chemical properties of acids and bases, we have to collect some samples of acids and some samples of bases. Okay, that collected samples of acids and bases. So here I am writing in the form of table samples. So what samples we have to collect here? Look at hydrochloric acid. The formula of hydrochloric acid is HCl. Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Nitric acid, HNO3. Acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, and also some samples of bases: sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so these are the samples we need to collect. Okay, samples of some substances. Some of the substances are acidic and some of the substances are basic. Which substances are acidic, which substances are basic, we do not know. Okay, we have to identify their chemical properties. Okay, with litmus and with indicators, with these synthetic indicators. Okay, so here we have to take 4 watch glasses here. On 4 watch glasses, we have to take the drops of here phenolphthalein and methyl orange. Okay, so here on 4 watch glasses, look at here, 4 watch glasses. First, which solution I considered here? Hydrochloric acid. Okay, have to take few drops of hydrochloric acid on watch glasses. Okay, hydrochloric acid on 4 watch glasses, also hydrochloric acid. Take few drops of hydrochloric acid, and in first watch glass dip the blue litmus paper. Dip the blue litmus, and in next watch glass red litmus, and in third watch glass phenolphthalein indicator, and in last watch glass methyl orange. Okay, so these are the 4 watch glasses we have to take and put few drops of first solution hydrochloric acid, and also dip the blue litmus in first watch glass, dip red litmus in second watch glass, and add few drops of phenolphthalein and methyl orange. They are the liquid indicators. Okay, so phenolphthalein indicator, or add few drops of phenolphthalein indicator to the HCl solution, and also methyl orange indicator, few drops of methyl orange indicator to the HCl solution in fourth watch glass. And we have to observe the changes of colors of the solution in watch glass, and we have to note down in the table. First, which one we dipped here? Blue litmus. Next, red litmus, phenolphthalein, methyl orange. Okay, look at here. If we observe the change in the first watch glass, hydrochloric acid, so in the name we are saying here acid means blue litmus changes into red. Okay, acid, that's why blue litmus changes into red. Red litmus, if we dip the red litmus in second watch glass, red litmus remains in red only, means there is no change also we can say, means litmus paper already in red color, it remains in red. So what we can write? No change, or remains red also we can write. No change means there is no change in the color of the litmus paper. Before it has red in color, after dipping also it should be in red in color. Okay, phenolphthalein, in acidic presence, the phenolphthalein will remains in colorless. Okay, phenolphthalein remains colorless. With methyl orange, the last watch glass, which one we have to add here? Phenolphthalein with acids red or pink. Methyl orange, last watch glass, which one we added here? Methyl orange with acid red color. Okay, methyl orange with acid red or pink, red. H2SO4, sulfuric acid I am saying here. Okay, this is hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid blue litmus changes into red, acid red litmus remains red only, no change. Okay, acid in the presence of phenolphthalein again colorless. with acid methyl orange changes into red color. Nitric acid it is also. Acid means it turns blue litmus into red. Red litmus remains the same, means it does not change into any color. Okay, phenolphthalein with acid, colorless. Phenolphthalein with methyl orange, red color. Acetic acid it is also. In blue litmus changes into red. Red litmus no change. Acetic acid with phenolphthalein, colorless. Methyl orange in the presence of acid, red color. Sodium hydroxide. So now in the same way, first hydrochloric acid we added in 4 watch glass and we dip blue litmus, red litmus, phenolphthalein and methyl orange. And every time another solutions also we have to take in watch glass, like sulfuric acid take in 4 watch glass and add blue litmus, red litmus, phenolphthalein and methyl orange and observe the colors, and we have to fill the tables like this. Next, nitric acid in 4 watch glass and blue litmus, red litmus, phenolphthalein, methyl orange. Acetic acid also in 4 watch glasses and add blue litmus, red litmus, phenolphthalein, methyl orange, and we observe the colors and we have filled in the table. In the same way, bases also we have to consider. Sodium hydroxide solution, this is also in 4 watch glasses, drops of sodium hydroxide we have to add in 4 watch glasses. First watch glass, blue litmus, red litmus, phenolphthalein and methyl orange. Okay, so with base or with sodium hydroxide, blue litmus no change we observe, no change. Red litmus, sodium hydroxide changes into blue, Phenolphthalein with bases turns into red. Methyl orange with sodium hydroxide we observed, it changes into yellow. Okay, calcium hydroxide, again in the place of sodium hydroxide we have to consider calcium hydroxide in 4 watch glasses with blue litmus papers and with synthetic indicators we have to observe. So calcium hydroxide also with blue litmus no change, it remains in blue in color. With red litmus it turns into blue. With phenolphthalein solution turns the calcium hydroxide solution into red color. Methyl orange solution turns the calcium hydroxide solution into yellow. Same ammonium hydroxide also no change in red litmus, blue color, red litmus changes into blue. Phenolphthalein with ammonium hydroxide turns into red, and methyl orange with ammonium hydroxide turns the solution into yellow. So like this we have to observe every time the solutions like ammonium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, and every time the change in colors we have to note down in the table. So potassium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide also we have to observe the same changes. Okay, no change with the blue litmus. Blue litmus remains blue only, there is no change in the litmus color when in the presence of sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide. But red litmus changes into blue we have to observe. Okay, and phenolphthalein indicator changes these solutions into red in color, and methyl orange also changes these solutions into yellow in color. Okay, if we can fill the changes observed in this activity in the form of a table. So from the table what we have to conclude here? From the table we can conclude here the substances they change the color in the acidic or basic medium. The substances they change the colors in the presence of indicators. The substances they change their colors in the presence of indicators, or means what here? Indicators we have to use to indicate the nature of the substance. Here if we can observe hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, acetic acid, they remains the same with the blue litmus and red litmus. Up to here what we have to conclude here? These all are acids. Okay, from the table what we can conclude here? The substances they change the colors in the presence of indicators. Like this way we have to identify the acids. With blue litmus turns into red, red litmus remains same, no change. Phenolphthalein becomes colorless, methyl orange becomes into red. Then we can identify the substances or acids. From here onwards, if we can observe in this activity, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, these are the substances in the presence of indicators, they change the colors. Okay, so according to these changes with the litmus, red litmus turns into blue and phenolphthalein becomes into red, methyl orange turns into yellow. So these all the solutions, what do we confirm here? Bases. So from this table, what we can conclude from the table? We can conclude from the table acids and bases, they change the color in the presence of indicators. Okay, so that change in color will indicate us the nature of the substance, whether it is in acidic in nature or basic in nature. So like this way, in the presence of in the presence of indicators, some of the substances, they are changing their colors. According to the color, we can identify the nature of the substance, whether it is acidic or basic. But some of the substances, they change their odor. Odor means what? A smell. Okay, before presence of acidic or basic medium, or in the presence of acidic or basic medium, they will give the change in smell. Odor means what? Smell. The substances whose odor changes in the presence of acidic or basic medium, the substances we can call as here olfactory indicators. So how do we identify that olfactory indicators? We can look at here. That also comes under chemical properties of acids and bases. Olfactory indicators, the substances whose change their odor in the presence of acidic or basic medium, they are called olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators, the substances. How do we define the olfactory indicators? The substances whose change their odor, whose change their odor. Odor means what here? Smell. Whose change their odor in the presence of acidic or basic media. Acidic or basic media, okay, are called olfactory indicators. So like this way we define olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators. Indicators, these also, indicators means to indicate the nature of the substance. It is acidic in nature or basic in nature. Olfactory means what? They change their odor in the presence of acidic or basic medium. So that substances we can define as olfactory indicators. So what are that kind of olfactory indicators? So how do we identify by using these olfactory indicators the nature of the substance? We have to look at here. So for this we have some small activity. In our house available onions we have to consider here. Onions, we have to chop the onions into small pieces. Okay, chopped onions. We have to take in a plastic bag. Chopped onions, take it in plastic bag and keep some clean cloths in plastic bag. Along with the chopped onions, keep some clean cloths. Cloth pieces, clean cloths, keep it along with the onion pieces and tie up the cover tightly and keep it in a refrigerator overnight. Overnight, where we should keep it here? In refrigerator. Okay. Okay, along with the chopped onions, like small pieces. Chopped onions means small pieces of onions. We'll take it in a plastic bag along with some clean cloths and keep it cover tightly, plastic bag tightly, and keep it into the refrigerator overnight. Okay, next day morning we have to collect the clean cloths. Clean cloths, keep it on the surface. Here one clean cloth, here one clean cloth. Next day morning, okay, on the clean surface. So here put some drops of dilute hydrochloric acid solution on this clean cloth. Here this is clean cloth. Okay, this one is also clean cloth. Next day, after keeping with chopped onions, the clean cloth we are using as olfactory indicators. Okay, so clean cloth, on one clean cloth dilute HCl solution we have to drop, and next clean cloth sodium hydroxide solution we have to drop, and observe the odor, observe the smell. We have to observe the smell of the clean cloths in the presence of acidic media and in the presence of basic medium. We have to observe the smell of the clean cloths. After removing from chopped onions, we have to observe the smell. After adding with dilute hydrochloric acid with clean cloth and dilute sodium hydroxide with clean cloth, we have to observe the smell and rinse these two clean cloths with distilled water. after adding with acid and base, rinse means what, nothing but wash, okay, rinse with distilled water, and again we have to observe the smell, okay. Before rinse with distilled water, we have to observe the smell in the presence of acidic or basic medium. After rinse in distilled water, we have to observe the smell, and we have to note down the change in the smell of the clean cloths when they are along with the onions, chopped onions overnight, okay. So these change in smell will gives us the nature of the substance, means in the presence of acidic substance what kind of smell they are giving, okay. In the presence of basic medium, what kind of smell they are changing, how do they change the smell in the presence of acidic or basic medium, or before adding the acid and base, and after rinse in with distilled water also we have to observe the change in smell, and we have to identify which substance. By using these onions we have to confirm the smell. With acidic medium what kind of smell it is giving, with basic medium what kind of smell the clean cloth is giving, that we have to identify and keep it in mind. And that clean cloths means the clean cloth which is kept overnight along with the chopped onions, such clean cloths we have to use as acid base indicators. Why? Because in the presence of acid base indicators they are changing their odor, okay. Means here chopped onions we have to use as here olfactory indicators, one of the example. If we do not keep the clean cloths along with onions, only clean cloth does not change the color, does not change the odor with acid or a basic medium. When we kept along with the onions, the odor of the onions will contact with the clean cloth. So now the clean cloth we have to use as a acid base indicator, means they are changing their colors. That's why the onions, what kind of indicator we are saying here, olfactory indicators. Along with onions we have also clove oil. Clove means clove also will available in our house, lavanga we can say, clove means, okay. Clove oil is also we have to use, and vanilla essence. Vanilla essence is also used in the preparation of ice creams, okay. Vanilla essence and clove oil, okay. Here again take 2 clean cloths and put few drops of clove oil on one of the clean cloth with clove here in a hydrochloric acid we have to take here hydrochloric acid in one of the container watch glass, and again sodium hydroxide in another watch glass, and put clove oil in both the watch glasses, okay. And we have to observe the change of the clove oil. Clove oil means it gives like a spicy smell, okay. When in the presence of acidic and basic medium, what kind of smell it is giving we have to observe, okay. In the presence of hydrochloric acid solution in the watch glass, we have to add few drops of clove oil, and in the presence of dilute sodium hydroxide also we have to add clove oil, and we have to observe the change in the smell. In the same way again in watch glasses, vanilla essence we have to put few drops with dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sodium hydroxide, and also we have to observe the change of the smell of the vanilla essence before adding with hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide, and after adding with hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide we have to observe the change in the vanilla essence, and we have to confirm the change in the smell. When we add the clove oil, what kind of smell it is giving in the presence of acidic medium and in the presence of basic medium, and when we add vanilla essence, what kind of smell it is giving in the presence of acid and in the presence of base. So these change in smell we have to use to identify the given substance whether it is in acidic or basic. So these onions, clove oil and vanilla essence, these are we can use as olfactory indicators, the indicators or the substances whose change their odor in acidic or basic media. That substances or that indicators we can call as a olfactory indicators. What are the examples? We can say onions, clove oil and vanilla essence. So here with the basic question, acids and bases, they will ask why are pickles and sour substances. So here why are pickles and sour substances, they will ask for 2 marks question always. This is why are pickles and sour substances are not stored in brass and copper vessels. Brass and copper vessels. Actually this is also 7th class standard question, but even though they will ask in our 10th class also, why are pickles and sour substances are not stored in brass and copper. Here brass and copper, these are metals, okay, and here pickles and sour substances. Sour means, sour substance means what do we define here? Sour substance means the substances we can confirm it is acid, okay. Pickles and sour substances, they contained acids in them. Pickles and sour substances, they contain acids, and what are the acids are present in them? They react with metals, okay. So here acids react with metals, and also in the inner surface of the vessel, like this is a copper vessel if we can consider. So inner walls of the vessel, like a blue scales formed. Inner walls of the vessel, blue scales. Scales means like a lines, okay. Blue scales formed, okay. When the acid present in the pickles and sour substances react with the copper or brass vessel, it forms blue scales on the inner surface of the vessel. As a result, the substance which is present here, the sour substance which is present here will become spoil, and it is unhealthy to eat to our health, and it will become spoil the food present in copper vessel, and also the metal also will corrodes. Metal corrodes. Corrodes means what? Losses. Metal also corrodes, and the food becomes spoil. The food item which is stored in brass and copper vessels also becomes spoil. Why? Because the pickles and sour substances contains what? Acids in them. These acids, when we stored in brass and copper vessels, they react with the metal. The acid react with these metals and forms inner sides of the walls of the vessel, blue scales. This chemical reaction takes place within the food substance and also with the vessel, with copper and brass vessel, and it corrodes the metal, and also it spoils the food item. So because of that, it is unhealthy to eat to our body. So that's why mainly to store pickles and sour substances we have to use glass, porcelain, and these copper and brass vessels also coated with tin. That's why, to avoid this chemical reaction between acid and metal, coated with these brass and copper vessels coated with which one? Tin, which is least reactive metal with acids. It does not react with acids. That's why coated with tin. And mostly the pickles and sour substances we can store in glass, porcelain, and plastic, like plastic containers, okay. That is why we have to use plastic containers, glass, and porcelain vessels to avoid the chemical reaction with acid and metals, okay. This is the question, general question they will ask based on the acids, okay. So here these are the chemical properties of acids and bases. In our next topic, reaction of acids and bases with metals, we have to learn in our next class, okay. Thank you.